Hello and welcome to another edition of XV. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in today. We're going to have a big rant about real world assets because there's a couple different things that have happened. And, when you talk about real world assets, traditionally speaking, it is not talking about just like the collectibles side of thing, right? But we are going to more dive into that specific realm of things. If you haven't noticed, the market, generally speaking, has been pretty green. However, the timeline has been absolutely silent on it. So are we at a point that everybody has given up? Nobody wants to pay attention to whatever's going on here and they're doing their own thing? Well, just maybe. Let's get into things. We're going to be talking about Gondi first, which is like a loan platform of sorts. Let me hover here to get it. The premier NFT liquidity marketplace, collect, sell, borrow, lend. Okay, great, cool. So it's a platform that if you have NFTs that are of certain value, you're able to take it to it and get like a loan against it. Introducing Gondi's personalized feed. Discover digital art your way. Follow your favorite collection seamlessly. See updates and listings that matter to you, and curate a feed as unique as your taste. Oh, look at that. They're trying to glaze your taste. Love to see it. Now, with that said, going in like checking out the site itself, because I'm like, all right, for like a loan platform, that seems super weird that you're like embedding a social media feed. But all I can see here is like on the left, it's got the home, the lending market collections. So it might be a thing where you have to like log in to get the extra aspects of it, but they show on the side here for different collections from CryptoPunks to Xcopy to Tyler Hobbs Fidenza. You can scroll through and it will show you certain sales and other happenings on there. So I think the concept of it is kind of neat, but just it does feel like maybe a little bit weird that like a lending platform is doing just that. The most recent episode of RWA SegMints was able to talk down with Jay from Solana, Houston Texans. Keck. Bruh, I was watching the draft and they had the best draft had. I'm just saying. So PlaySolana, they're trying to become the Nintendo Switch of crypto. And I asked them the question, right? I asked them a question that was about explaining things to people that are not in crypto. Because if you're going to have a crypto gaming device, well, that might be a little weird. So here's his answer. You look at people that aren't in the crypto space right now, trying to get them to understand certain components of it can be a challenge. Some people are open to it, some people are not. But when you take the PlaySolana device and you're trying to pitch it to somebody who's not in crypto, how do you position it?
Yeah, so a lot of my friends know about crypto, and I think there is this misconception maybe, of crypto people being rich. Like you see it like everywhere. Like before it was like, oh, scams, oh, I bet you like you take money from people and stuff like that in 2020, 2021. And right now you're just in any place and you just say, oh yeah, I work with crypto. Like I don't say it, but when we are out there in like crypto events and stuff and people say it to like normies or people that are working, there's this thing about like you're rich. So when I try to present it to one of my friends, just saying like, oh, this is a crypto device, you can actually play games that have crypto on it, and they are like, so can you make crypto? Like, can you make money with that? Yeah, I guess like if the game is paying you to play, yeah, and you perform some tasks, probably.
So what was the big takeaway from like that answer there towards the end? Him saying, explaining it to a cousin, saying, "Oh, like here's a crypto gaming device. The associations with money." Us who's already in the crypto space are like, when are we going to have games that we think are fun? And the people on the other side are like, oh, there's games that are crypto related. Well, there's just an assumption that you're able to earn crypto or money or something about it. So very, very interesting how that's fallen apart. Distress Pickle, trash graphics and 90s nostalgia. That's going to be a red card, buddy. But Peckham, what's going on? How are we doing on this Friday? Crazy perspectives when you get to talk to different people about what they think and what's different. Now, Peckham brought up a great point, so I went and found the clip. Because Peckham was like, what the hell did you say on the opening yesterday? And I'm looking back on it, and I'm like, that sounded absolutely like understandable in my head when I said it. And then I watched back the clip, and I'm like, I don't know if this makes any sense. One thing you've probably noticed over the market the past couple of weeks, if not days, more specifically weeks, I wouldn't say months. Except for maybe a few exclusions here and there. But over the past several weeks, maybe 2 months, in my mind, I swear to God, I was like, all right, I'm formulating the thought. We've had X amount of months. Well, it's like, yeah, past couple of weeks. And I'm like, wow. Well, I mean, maybe it's like a month or more. Absolutely brutal. Peckham, appreciate that. That was great. So over on the Moonbirds side of things, there was a couple of shakeups where Moonbirds are now, they've changed their logo. And it seems that like they're trying to make the main character like a character. I guess that sounds kind of stupid out loud, but if you think about it, for Pudgy Penguins, their like icon that's just like the blue penguin or whatever. I guess they just call that Pengu. And then for Bored Ape Yacht Club, they have the ape that's Cudis. And Moonbirds, they have Burb, which is, I mean, that's kind of cool. But they had a whole bunch of different announcements and a lot of different things that happened the other day of acquiring some bigger individuals as a part of their team. And we're going to get more into their physical drop that just ended today. And there's a lot of people that are buying physical collectibles if you haven't seen. But Sylo, guys, oh my God. I feel like Sylo tweets every day, but it's almost like the same thing, except now we got a little bit different where they're talking about the Connectibles. So how does this work for brands? And we're going to kind of try to relate this back to, again, the more real world connection sort of things of the stuff that you know and love. So control who can access your data and who pays for it. That's what Sylo Protocols unlock. Featureverse's Connectibles builds on this to give IP holders a digital rights manager for the metaverse. And again, I keep saying I really do genuinely believe that I think people that hold IP that's valuable, that has community, that has people that are willing to, cash out the goods for it, I think it's going to be huge. So with Connectibles, IP holders can seamlessly integrate IP across games, track usage and royalties in real time, set rules and revoke access remotely, unlock new revenue streams from engaged players. Now, what does this actually look like in actuality? Because we can say that and say, all right, that sounds cool, but you need to have the people that want to jump on board. Behind the scenes, it's Sylo's network protocols that make this possible. Permissions to define where assets can appear. Verification ensures authenticity. And then the Sylo token, the token designed to power access and enforcement. So again, we're kind of waiting back, sitting, seeing what's going to happen, but very interesting. JPMorgan says institutional adoption for crypto is still in its early phases. Past several years, we keep saying, we're early. Institutions definitely feel like they're early. Even though we got a couple of the institutions that are like all in already, all the other ones are going to have to catch up. Just in, the Panini blockchain has experienced another record month with more than 7.1 million spent on the platform already in September. Super Bowl, what's up? So Panini, they decided, of all the brands out there, think about it, right? We use the notion, Pokemon's going to come on chain, but why the hell would Pokemon partner with anybody else? They're big enough that they'd want to just do their own thing. And we have seen a lot of brands that have decided, you know what, we're not going to actually build our own thing. We're going to work with somebody who's already established. But Panini going out there, making their own chain, and again, they have a big enough fan base, a big enough name recognition, they're able to do so. And again, these are for the sports cards, but as digital collectibles. Follows a record August, which saw just over 7 million in sales. So from 7 million this month, they got 7 million last month. Some of these things are cooking. Platform has had 3 sales top 50,000 alone, and 20 reached 10,000 or more in the last week. So somebody is feeling bullish around everything Panini. And then we do the compare and contrast game where we've saw with other platforms that they got super amounts of attention all of a sudden. So saw this from OpenPage, which was formerly Other Page, which I thought was kind of interesting, but Command Line, M Squared, Readyverse, Featureverse, Think Agents, and a whole bunch of other things. Meebits are a part of this as well. I've been screaming forever, and I almost feel like I don't even bring it up anymore, about how everybody hates everybody within crypto. It's, we're this side, you're that side. And like on the stream yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, I was like, I feel like we're just going to have like the schooling online that's like, okay, if you're interested in these sort of things, and you're going to focus on that. And then same with over here, and everybody's just going to get like super divided for their niches. When I ask, are people going to come together? So seeing just ridiculous amount of varying companies and IPs and builders within the space, maybe we get an experience that's like kind of inclusive and good for everybody. I am ready for that to happen. Peckham, what I ask is this: who is it in retail that has decided to go and buy 7 million in sales? We don't see it on Twitter by any genuine retail buyers or tweeters. See my point? Okay, so Peckham, I would agree with you. However, for that particular thing, I would argue that it's more like you just don't see it on your feed, because I feel like over the past couple of weeks, I've seen it like trickle onto my feed, and I've noticed people talking about it. Now, do we know exactly who like the big buyers are of that? No, not necessarily. And have I seen anybody on the platform that I personally know, whether in Discord, on X, in any kind of fashion, that are into Panini? I haven't seen like anybody, right? And I'm not trying to like diss them by any means, but it feels like it's a different crowd that is on that. And I would make that kind of assessment when you go down the list, right? Because you can go from collection to collection and say, all right, this is that crowd, this is that crowd. I mean, V Friends would be a great one from the Gary V side of things. There was a lot of people that weren't in crypto at all that are more business inclined in a way, or at least it feels that way, that if you go in the V Friends community, it does feel like it's a very different cluster of people than that collection, different collection, whatever. And so for Panini having those sales, it might just be from an audience that we're not like connected with, is how I would like attempt to answer your questions. But back to Moonbirds and the real world asset at hand. So we have these IPs, we have everything, and we've been in the past couple of years preaching about how, you know what, we really like having things that are digital because you don't have to worry about storing anything. Well, welcome to the fun side of things. So Moonbirds, they have all these changes the other day, and then they make an announcement saying they are going to do a random collectible sale. But it's not a digital one, it's a physical one. And so I think it's like $25 for just one, or it was $300 for 12. And you don't know what it is, but it's a physical collectible. In 24 hours, they did 1.7 million in sales, selling 68,000 units. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Now, if I were to change this, right, and position it and ask, all right, would you, first of all, buy it? Because I'm going to assume there's a fair amount of you that didn't even know this was a thing. So for $25, would you buy this collectible? Then in your mind, you have yes or no as an answer, but then maybe you have to think about it and say, all right, do I want to like speculate on it? Do I actually want something that's a part of this collectible? Why am I getting into it? Maybe I want to flip it or something under the sun. Okay, cool. All fair points. Good thoughts. Love it. Now, if I was going to change that and say that you got an NFT of an avatar, like let's say it's like their third collection, I don't know, they're doing what the hell is relevant to birds? Like a flamingo collection. You can't get me getting anything better. So Moonbirds comes out and says, hey guys, we're going to do an unlimited NFT sale. It's the exact same price, right? But you're going to get a flamingo profile picture instead of a physical collectible. Do you think that you would be more inclined or less inclined? Do you feel like, hey, I valuable that digital collectible, the flamingo potentially? Or would you prefer only if it's that physical collectible? So just food for thought, because we have seen the likes of Deadfellaz, as an example. They did that profile picture mint not that long ago. I feel like I haven't seen that on the timeline whatsoever since that happened, but I have seen a couple people that decided to change their avatars towards them. Cirus bought $41,000 worth of them. So to the question that I asked a moment ago is saying, would you end up buying them? Okay. Are you going to flip? Probably like Cirus. Are they going to hold this long term? Are they going to collect them and then give them out to a whole bunch of people? Are they going to collect them and want to hoard them in their house? These are questions. Everybody's got something that's a little bit different. Most of Panini NFT sales are insider deals. You think so? Okay. All right, check this out. So this is the OpenSea video. We got like Pepe the Frog. We got some beans from the Yuzuki crew. We got Doodles. We got Good Vibes Club. All of them are done kind of within their own, I don't know, style, if you will. You got Moonbirds, Sappy Seals, like Foxy Fam or something along those sides. Now we got Pudgy Penguins. And basically, OpenSea is just highlighting that they are going to be having treasure chests coming. And we know that at some point they're supposed to be doing this token, getting updates in October. If you're not watching on video, you'll have missed that it's just showing a ton of different collections. And as they look up into the sky, there is a chromey squiggle in the clouds, which is kind of funny. But to the point earlier about having everybody come together for some sort of thing, is the token for OpenSea going to be that? Now for Kongs, right? Like people were excited about CyberKongz and getting a little drop for the token if they did X amount of volume, and then it turned into just like a storm of FUD for most people. And they were the talk of the town for the day, but again, as per usual, have you seen any conversations around CyberKongz on your timeline today? Probably not. We're getting an update soon regarding that token. Just in over 110 billion? Yeah, because that's a million. That's 110 billion has been added to the crypto market cap in the past 24 hours. And I don't see like anyone being even moderately excited on the timeline. Very interesting. I saw this from Normie earlier, talking about MoonPay. You should secure your Moon tag. So what do you guys think? Have you gone out there and you bought an Ethereum name service instead of having to use a bunch of random numbers and letters for your wallet? You just type in a certain thing, .eth. You got to pay for it, though. For MoonPay, do you feel like you go out there and use anything for MoonPay? Maybe not right now, but maybe in the future. So good shout out for Jeremy, but MoonPay is offering that if you would like. One very cool thing that I was introduced to not extraordinarily long ago was Coinsbee. And this is a platform where you're able to actually buy gift cards with crypto. So if you're like, you know what, I want to do my shopping in any kind of fashion without using fiat, you can actually use this. And I've used it once before. And I think it was for like League of Legends because I was like, no way. There's no way this works. And it does. It did. I was like, what the hell? So for Apple, iTunes, Virgin Mobile, Chatter, these are a whole bunch of other different mobile phone companies. But I mean, if we type in League of Legends, which I misspelt, fun stuff, you can see here, and then you can like pick like what amounts you want. And so just kind of a cool site that I thought I'd share with you guys if you haven't seen it before. But for whatever you want, you can purchase things within crypto, which is kind of neat. So with the conversations around collectible assets and whatnot, have you ever wondered where all of the stuff is stored? Well, for a couple of the trading card platforms that are offering some kind of tokenization, they use Brinks. And so here's an article from back in January 24th of 2024. So remember, this was like quite a while ago. Brinks Security invests in Goldman-backed BitGo digital asset custody. And so Brinks realizing, and from without doing like extra research, we kind of all know Brinks of, yeah, that's the vehicle that has money in it with security, and they go to banks and they handle different stuff and their security and they have money in them, and they store valuables and they protect it. Oh, listen, that's an established brand that connects with people. And when you say, hey, Brinks is securing our assets, everybody's like, woo, we love it. And so next week on the RWA SegMints Podcast, I am doing a discussion with Travis. We recorded it today, and it'll be out on Tuesday. But I made a huge argument with him about brands and the aspect that I think a lot of people are, one, never going to touch crypto because they just don't like it. But the other part is like the stigma that's around it. And for some people, that can go away depending on certain companies, people, experiences that change their perspective on it. And I think having certain brands associated with it is going to be a huge deal that's not currently being appreciated kind of like in any fashion. So that's your thought on it. The founder nodes. Have you guys looked at Gala Games founder nodes in a while? These were suddenly tradable. So a little bit of a backstory here. For Gala Games, one of the things that they did was the ability to purchase a Gala node. So you would spend X amount of ETH, and then you would be earning X amount of Gala per day. And these weren't sellable, but eventually Several years later, they ended up being, and now we're here. These came out at like $5,000 to $7,000, and right now they're being bought and sold for about $550. And Gala was one of like the biggest things within the space. So when we look out and broad right now of certain things not performing, whatever else, realize it's not just singular things. But have you heard of the Cudis ring? Initiate your longevity journey, the Pioneer package. So earlier you could have bought a Moonbirds collectible. You had no idea what the hell it was, a physical one, for $25. Or you could buy a ring that costs $500. Now, why would you want that? And let's see if they actually give you kind of the oomph, the excitement when scrolling through it. The Cudis ring, the Sporty series. 5x rewards with activity mode made for everyday athletes. Okay. The new Cudis Ring Sport Series is our most colorful, versatile, and comfortable AI wellness ring. Available in 12 bold colors, accurate pro-level tracking, designed for all-day wear. Earn 5x rewards with activity mode for 12 months, redeemable starting in July. Immediately, this feels like those blockchain websites. Like if you go to Ethereum and it just gives you like all of like what the dev side of things would look at, and you're like, hey, I'm just a person trying to learn a little bit. Can you like give me like what I need to know right away? Because right now we kind of have the assumption of, all right, so we get rewarded with this. It's a ring. It's about health, and it's for athletes. Your access to the inner circle of longevity, an upgrade SBT, unlocking entry in the Cudis Longevity Hub, curated product. Again, like we're still not really getting anything for it. They're saying there's only 300. The founding team members got people from Microsoft, Samsung, Google, Equinox, Nike, Binance, Solana. Oh my God. And then got key backers from a whole bunch of massive individuals out there. They have different partners for the launch. They got $5 million funding. This is all great. But have they told you anything of what it actually does? It's kind of tough. And so one thing that we've started to see is people that are trying to create some kind of DePIN, decentralized, oh, I'm forgetting this one, the physical infrastructure network. There we go. And the concept with it, for example, is you have like a mobile hotspot. You set up this physical device, hook it up to the internet, whatever it needs to be, and then you would earn, similar to those Gala nodes, but you would earn for helping keep that network active. And Cudis was trying to do that within the health realm, where you get rings. It's a limited amount of them, but it all gets put towards something, and we're seeing those step in. I'm assuming Cudis probably has their own thing as well because it's got a staking option, but each of these has their own token and trying to incentivize you of, hey, go get active. And if you're active, and we can tell with these devices, then we're going to reward you with certain currencies and whatnot. So what does it look like when you're trying to get people involved within an industry that they might not be familiar with? Well, to hint a little bit of what Travis said for that podcast, he brought up, I try to do a little bit of digging, find out what they're interested in. And he mentioned that sports, that's a huge thing. There's so many different variants of sports within the crypto realm as you can try to position directly to their fandom and have them understand, hey, this is going on over in that realm, but also there's a whole bunch of other fun things going on over here. And it's very exciting. And of course, we're going to be talking about it, covering it, and all that kind of jazz. I appreciate you guys that have notifications on for the stream, by the way. There's a bunch of you that like show up immediately for that. So hell yeah, love it. Distressed Pickle, Peckham, Super Bowl. Thank you. And for anybody else that's watching afterwards as well. A little bit of a shorter stream today, so we had to do some stuff earlier, like the recording and all of that jazz, but we will be back Monday as per usual. I hope you have an absolutely phenomenal weekend, and we will talk soon. Peace.